Argument from fine-tuning for the existence of God. The idea that the universe is specifically designed to support life, that our planet is specifically designed to support life, and that any very, very slight change of the laws of physics or the positioning of Earth in relation to the sun would prevent the existence of life here is somehow evidence for the existence of God. This is quite possibly the worst apologetic for the existence of any God. It, of course, doesn't get you anywhere near the Christian God, but that's beside my point here. So the reason why life is here is because it's possible for life as we know it to exist here. And the life as we see it now is here because it has evolved to suit its environment, to better survive and exist here. The reason why certain animals can burrow or fly or build nests or do anything it does is because it evolved that way, and the reason why it evolved that way is because it helped it survive and suit its environment. Now, the fine-tuning argument is particularly bad because it, like the argument from complexity, it's special pleading. We don't know that the life of a different kind, a non-carbon-based life form, couldn't exist somewhere else. And we don't have any other example of a universe where the laws of physics could be different. It's particularly bad because it's technically really an argument against God's existence. That the explanation that science has for the way everything is because it got that way because that's how it could survive, and that's how it does survive. A better argument for the existence of God is actually the antithesis of the argument from fine-tuning, that if the laws of physics would, on paper, disprove the existence of life, if animals and people were existing in a manner that they could not possibly exist, then that would imply some sort of unknown, perhaps even supernatural reason for that. And the universe is really not fine-tuned for life, and I think it's absolutely hilarious every time I hear the specific phrase come out of apologist's mouth. The universe is fine-tuned for life. That's hilarious. Humankind can barely live on the Earth. We are extremely adaptive. Okay, where I live right now is South Florida. This used to be a just swampland, just gnarliness everywhere. And people pretty much terraformed this corner of the state so that people could live here. I live in a city that's, a little bit north of Miami, but everything from way south of Miami to way, 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 way north of here is all really one city, and each of the city names is arbitrary. I live on about a 15-mile wide strip of land that just hugs the coast, and it's all drained swampland where everything's been cut down and shit's built, and we exist in the fucking summer without getting heat stroked because of air conditioning, okay? We couldn't live here. We can only possibly live in Antarctica if we build structures and fucking control the temperature and control the weather. We can't live in deserts. There's no water. We can't live in oceans because we can't breathe water. We can't live in space, period. None of the other 7 planets in the solar system can support life. Pluto either. Or Eris. Or if they can, not us. And you can't live on the surface of the sun. You can't live in the vacuum of space. Space is a horribly hostile area of just shit getting bombarded with asteroids, pulsars just wasting shit with a continuous beam of X-rays, stars exploding and just destroying entire corners of galaxies. we live on what Richard Dawkins calls a knife edge, and Christopher Hitchens is called a knife edge of habitable space. And the idea that God makes this possible is laughable, and God is also in this argument, in the argument from design and complexity, that he has to be a timeless, spaceless, immaterial being who is apart from the universe. It's particularly laughable because to say something exists, it has to exist in a space and at a point in time, and that's how you say it exists. God has to be special pleading, special pled, however the fuck you say that is a verb, out of existence, but somehow gets to exist. That's special pleading. It's fallacious. It's ridiculous. It's illogical. So this and the argument from complexity and design, more or less the same argument, is terrible. It is untenable, and the only people who believe it and use it are people who just know nothing about cosmology and mathematics and physics and ecology. They know nothing, and I know next to nothing, and I know that this argument is 100% untenable and laughable. And the only reason why I ever find it daunting when an apologist brings it up is because anybody I'm talking to who thinks it's a valid argument, I would have to explain a lot to them. And what's particularly hilarious is there's usually only two reasons why somebody will bring up this argument, and we're going to end on that note, is that you either have to be fundamentally dishonest, you have to be a liar. If there's any sort of professor or legitimate, let's keep that in mind, doctor in front of your name, you have to lie to present this argument. You know better. And to be honest, everybody I've ever encountered in my personal life who's made this argument to me personally has been somebody who's been homeschooled. Because a normal public school education, as bad as it is in America, would teach you the ridiculousness of this argument and would teach you not to believe it. Which is part of the reason why fundamentalist Christians are frequently homeschooled. They have to be protected from very basic information, which destroys the things they believe. Thanks for watching.